Hi guys, thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day hanging out with me here in my channel. My name's Jamie and today I'm going to talk about makeup items that I bought solely because they were at TJMaxx or Marshalls. So if you haven't been to a TJMaxx or Marshalls recently, you're kind of sleeping because they have such good high-end makeup for affordable prices. If there isn't a TJMaxx or Marshalls near you, they also have a lot of their products listed online, so you can totally get the deals. So the most recent product that I bought that I am so excited about is the Becca Volcano Goddess Palette. To be honest, when I first saw the pictures online, I was like, this is such a boring warm tone neutral palette. Who wants this? Who needs this? But the moment I saw it in that clearance bin at TJMaxx, I walked to it and I looked at it and then I did a lap around and then I came back and ultimately bought it. This palette is stunning. The mattes are some of the creamiest mattes that I've ever felt in my entire life. And this shade up here, which is Midnight Sapphire, turned out to be the most surprising shade in the palette because it looks like a normal navy blue, but it's actually a blue-purple duochrome, if I could get a good swatch to show you. And I feel like it just really added to the uniqueness of the palette. It has some cooler tone shimmers up here or down here and the warm gold and bronze tones. And I really feel like this is such a pretty palette and the formula is so nice. Another product that I found also from Becca is the Becca and Chrissy Teigen collaboration face palette. I love Chrissy Teigen. She's one of my favorite celebrities to follow on social media. I like a lot of her stances and I just think she's hilarious. So when I saw this palette, when it first came out, I didn't really think the shades would fit me because Chrissy Teigen is a lot deeper in complexion than I am. But once I saw this once again at Marshalls on the shelf, I just had to pick it up. The bronzer, I'm actually wearing all three products on my cheeks right now. I have the blush layered with another blush, the bronzer, and this highlighter. I think the highlighters are really pretty. They just require a little bit more work to make sure you don't have that streak, but they surprisingly are really flattering on my skin tone. I love this bronzer because it has a slight sheen to it, so it looks really natural. And this blush is super pretty and also has a sheen to it, so it's super flattering on my skin tone. I'm really glad that I did buy this because I initially didn't buy it because I thought it was too deep, but I actually find that it works really well, and I think it's going to work even better when I get a little bit of a tan in the summertime. So another product that I was really excited to find was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. Me and my friend had been talking about getting this palette for a while, but because there were so many negative reviews, I didn't want to spend the $40-something at Sephora to buy it, so I just lusted after it for a while. But when I was at TJMaxx and I saw they had two of these palettes in like perfect condition, completely untouched, I texted my friend and I was like, $25, should we do it? So we each bought one of these palettes. And I have to say, I am so happy I bought this. I absolutely love this palette. I don't find that it's super hard to work with. It does require a little bit more time, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone says, but maybe I just got a good batch. The color scheme here is so unique that I find that every time I reach into it, I get a completely different look. Electric, which is the topper shade, is one of my favorite shades in my entire collection. It's this duochrome, like peachy green color, and I absolutely love it. I think this palette works so well paired with the Prism palette, which has a lot more shimmers than it does mattes. So I love this as an addition to my collection because it has some of these deeper tone mattes that I don't really have in other palettes. Another Anastasia product that I was super excited to find was their powder contour kit in the shade light to medium. I always wanted this, especially when contouring was a really big trend, but I never really saw myself getting enough use out of it to justify buying it at Sephora. But when I found this at TJMaxx, I immediately snatched it up and I was so excited to buy it. I was recently a bridesmaid in my friend's wedding and I did my makeup as well as the makeup of some of the other bridesmaids, and I loved having this kit in my collection during that purpose. My one friend had a little bit of darkness under her eyes, so we used the banana powder to brighten it up and it really transformed her completely. And the contour shades aren't too harsh that they are super unflattering, and they look really good, and these two deeper shades work as such great bronzers. Speaking of bronzers, I also picked up this Lorac Tantalize bronzer in the shade Matte Tan. It is so pretty. I love this little packaging, like this little, I don't know, I love it. And it's such a pretty warm bronzer. It's a little too warm for me in the winter, but I love it during the summer, and it has a nice healthy sheen to it that it's not completely matte. I definitely get more use out of this in the summer months because right now it's a little too orange on me, but I plan on taking this with me when I go traveling this summer. Another product that I was so excited to find is this Burberry Brit perfume. When I was out with my friends, I think it was a few months ago, we were at this bar and some girl smelled so good and she was applying perfume in the bathroom and she had this one on. And then I found it at TJMaxx a few months later and I'm so excited to find this. It was like $20-something for a full-size Burberry perfume. And as you can see, I've gotten a decent amount of use out of it and it just smells so good that I love wearing this and I'm so happy that I found it. A product that I bought that I don't get as much use out of it is the Pure Eye Polish in the shade Satin. This is like a cream shadow and it has this little net in here. So it comes with a silicone applicator, which you dab into the net to get the product out. I don't reach for this on an everyday basis, but sometimes if I want a really quick one color look on my lid, I like applying this because it's a cream. I just throw it on, blend it lightly, and it really sets itself. It's a pretty color, but I find because the net is a little bit difficult to get product out of, so I kind of have to work and like scrape the applicator on the side and really work to get enough product that I can put on a full coat. An eye product that I am so excited that I found are the Stila liquid eyeshadows. So these two are technically their highlighters. This is in the shade Painted Lady, which is my favorite of the two. It is a bronze pink duochrome, or it's like a gold pink. And it looks so pretty on the eyes. I know it's technically a face product, but I kind of bend the rules. And then there's this one in Admiral, which is a pretty minty green. I find that because these were originally designed to be highlighters, the Admirable one is a little bit more sheer, so I have to build it up a little bit more, but I'm totally okay with that. And I did find one of their technical shadows, which is in the shade Sea Siren. It's another duochrome one. And it's a pink to blue duochrome. And it's so unique in my collection. And I really do love the Stila formula. They provide that really pretty glittery impact and they last a really long time and I have minimal fallout when I use these. So Painted Lady is my favorite and I just saw new colors when I was at TJMaxx the other day, but it was a color similar to something I already have. So I'd love to see if they come out with more because now that it's January, a lot of the holiday items go to TJMaxx and Marshalls. So I am on the prowl. I got two of the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush trios. This first one is in the shade Pool Party, and I really like this because the two blushes on either end are really neutral. This one in the shade Blank is one of my favorite blushes because it has a really neutral, kind of cool undertone, so it goes with most eye looks, and this orangey one in the shade Cash is also really pretty and flattering. The pink one's a little bit bold for me on an everyday basis, and it does have some glitter in it, so I don't use it as much as the other two, but I think for two of these blushes, that I use most. I think this was a $12 palette. Like I am so getting my money's worth out of it. And the second blush trio that I got was in the shade Pink Passion. I love this one as well. This color over here in the shade Rose is my favorite of the blushes because it's more neutral, but I also love this shade Basically, which is a pretty raspberry blush. Once again, these were only $12, so I really am getting my money's worth out of this because they retailed for over $20-something at Sephora, which I don't know that I would have paid for that because I don't use every blush evenly and I definitely have my favorites in each trio. Another Anastasia product that I found and the last product that I want to talk about are these mini liquid lipsticks. These are in the shades Bittersweet, Hudson, which is what I have on my lips right now with a gloss paired on top, and Dazed. I've mentioned before that the Anastasia liquid lipstick formula isn't really my absolute favorite. I find it a little bit drying. I find it a lot drying, and it doesn't last up through food and drink. But I find that Anastasia has such a unique color range that sometimes I'm willing to forgo a little bit of comfort to get her liquid lipsticks. And I just couldn't resist picking these up. They're in such pretty shades. You have this nude, this deeper red, and this more brown color. And I find that they're really versatile because they're so small. I can stick them in my purse or in my backpack whenever I need a lip color reapplication on the go. So I absolutely love these, and I do get more use out of them than I thought I would originally. So those are all the products that I've bought because of TJMaxx and Marshalls. What's your best TJMaxx and Marshalls find? I'd love if you let me know down below. If you like this video, I hope you consider subscribing for new videos weekly, and I hope to see you back on my channel then. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, guys.